Hello, this is Deb Coviello. I am the Curling News Coordinator on behalf of the USWCA, and I have the pleasure today of speaking with Beth Lepping. Beth, thank you so much for sharing this conversation with everybody. I would love to just open up and just ask you a few questions. You've had an absolutely amazing curling career, and you're giving back now as on behalf of the USCA presidency. And I know that a lot of people know you. However, for those who do not know you, I would love for you to take a moment to share a little bit about yourself, maybe your curling career, and what are you doing now as the USWCA president?
Oh, well, thank you. It's great to be here. I wouldn't actually, it's pretty typical curling career. I've been curling, I think, about 25 years. And like most people, a friend took us to an open house. And when we walked out, my husband asked me what I thought. And I said, I don't know about you, but I'm going to do it. And he was so excited that I liked a sport. He signed us up immediately. And next thing I knew, we were running events and bonspiels and playing in bonspiels. And about 2 years later, I went to my first USWCA meeting.
Fantastic.
And that was it. I think pretty much all our non-curling friends have dumped us by now. So,
But you have such an amazing community now, so that's fantastic.
Oh, we do. We love it. We love curling. It's curling is exactly that, a community. It's all ages and all walks of life, and we've made lifelong friends all over the world.
So that's fantastic. So fast forward, can you tell me a little bit about, moving into the USWCA role?
Most of the beginning of my USWCA experience was on promotions committee. I've also served on the All-American and the circuit and a few others. And was asked to serve as the second vice president, obviously 3 years ago, which was a surprise. When another person was not able to fulfill her term. And I think, as I said in a previous interview, my first instinct was to run away really fast. But curling has given us so much. And when you have an opportunity to give back to something that you love, you don't turn it away. So here I am trying to hold things together during COVID, which was, of course, not what anybody expected. But someone said to me yesterday, it's got to be somebody. So.
Absolutely. That's the beauty of the curling community. It is about volunteerism because it's not just the sport, it's not just the sportsmanship, but it really comes together with everybody pitching in with the skills that we have and helping each other out because, again, that's how we perpetuate the great sport and the community. But you did bring something up about the fact that now we're at that intersection of trying to preserve the beauty of the curling community and now the pandemic. And so given that things have changed, what is really most important now in your leadership role along with the board and the membership of the USWCA?
That's right now, the most important thing in my curling world is keeping everyone safe. The first decision as president I had to deal with was the fall meeting and what to do about it. And that actually was a decision that was made I believe in May, if I remember correctly, which was a difficult decision to make for something that was happening in September. We didn't know what was going to happen. Nobody did. But I would rather make a decision with an abundance of caution than risk putting one person in a position of in harm's way. So with the meeting of the second vice president and the first vice president, we decided that that was the best thing to do. Now, knowing what we did, I think we made the right decision. So now we're going forward with a virtual meeting, which is a first. This is a situation without precedent, and we're we're working our way through it the best we can. And the new situation is canceling the National Bondsville and moving the winter meeting to a different format. And that was just a decision made last week. So we'll have to move forward with that as well.
So I sincerely appreciate leadership is a challenging position. And again, it is yourself as well as with the board members. So sincerely appreciate having to make the hard decisions. And I know the membership will appreciate for the long term, even though it's a short-term inconvenience, a lot of lives are inconvenienced. But again, it is to preserve the sport of curling and to your point, the safety of curling for its members. So if we could just move in another direction, however, and that is what we're dealing with now. Had we not had the pandemic, I know that you and the leadership team had some areas of focus that you wanted that was very near and dear to your heart regarding the sport of curling. Could you just share with us a little bit about, once the pandemic passes, what's really important to you to share with the membership?
Well, curling comes from a long tradition has a long history of fellowship and camaraderie. And I'm concerned that even though curling has grown in wonderful ways with the Olympics and with the USCA, and our partnerships with the USCA are all wonderful things. I'm concerned that we are not passing down our history and the things like the etiquette and the great history that we have, as well as the way it was passed, like when I was a new curler. And I think we need to maybe relook at that and make sure that some of these things are passed on as well as they were passed on to us.
Yeah, curling has a rich history, and I too know that through careful coaching and reminders, and then just spending time with the more experienced curlers. I've been curling for 10 years. I do remember that, and when I do see a new curler, I try to gently remind them and let them know what we do and why it's so important. So sincerely appreciate that, because it is so important. We have younger curlers, new curlers. Curling is growing, and if nothing else, that's something we can do, even if we actually can't curl. When we do come together, make sure we share that rich history.
Exactly.
So I just want to thank you for your time. I felt it was important to really get your message firsthand, given that everything is virtual, and we'll share this with our membership. But before we bring this to a close, Beth, are there any thoughts or words that you want to share with the USWCA membership and maybe the U.S. Curling Association as a whole?
Just that, to remember that even though we can't maybe be together, I know a lot of clubs are opening late or maybe not even opening at all. Remember to reach out to your club members, maybe your first-year curlers who may get lost in the fray. They've only been there a year. They might feel like they're forgotten. Or reach out to your older members who maybe don't go out or are afraid to go out, that might need some help. Just don't forget that there are members out there who can get lonely or are just lost and forgotten without curling. That is their social network, and they might need you. Just don't forget about them.
All right, beautiful words. Thank you so much, Beth, for your time. I sincerely appreciate it. Wish you and the board continue success with leading the USWCA, and just thank you so much for your time, Beth.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, would you like? If yes, you receive an